Hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Ms. Angela Sawyer and today we are going to review the best practices of Fimo clay. We're going to start right now with this really neat kit that I got from Amazon. So let me show you the kit. It's awesome. Okay, the kit is right here and I'll show you a picture of what it looked like when I purchased it up here. And yes, it might look like it's for children, but it is also for adults because it is neat. So first of all, it came in this really cute box. Check this box out. And the way this box works is it's 3-tier. And each one is connected by these cute little clippy things. So we undo it and we can take the lid off. Yay. Oh, my dog is in here. Dog, go. Sorry. Get out. Get along. Get along, doggy. I'm filming. Go. Go. Come on. Go see your boy. Go get him. Go get your boy. Okay, yeah. His boy's my son, so sorry about that. And on the very top level of this kit, now I have opened this kit and used a couple of clays out of it along with my kids, but I did save the best for you to show you. So in this kit, it comes with all of these neat little dealy bobs. I don't know what they're called, but little carver things that let you do all kinds of cool things with the clay besides just use them for molds like we're going to do today. And these are actually for fondant. I'm going to show you how to use molds to make really cool things with your Fimo clay, and then also some really good best practices that'll make the clay easier to work with and your projects turn out really nice and professional looking. In addition, the package also has these cool other tools such as knives and little hole pokers and all kinds of fun stuff. And then on the other end here, it's got all kinds of things. So you can really do a lot. You can do like little carvings with it. You can make beads. You can make just anything you can think of just about you can make with Fimo clay. And actually today, the reason hair in my mouth. The reason that we are doing Fimo clay is because I'm working on this dressing table. And go ahead and hit subscribe and the notification bell because I'm going to be publishing the video on this dressing table soon. On the dressing table, I'm going to be applying these really cool Fimo appliques, and I will show you an example with one of the drawers. It's the first time I've showed anybody. So what I've done is actually made Fimo appliques, glued them onto the drawer, and then painted over them. So to see that process, once again, you will need to subscribe because that video will be coming out very soon. Let me show you some other examples of things that I've made with the Fimo clay. Okay, right here we have this butterfly, and as you can tell, it has relief to it. It's really pretty once it's painted. Later on in the video, I will show you some ideas for things to do with these little appliques besides put them on furniture. I have made little flower appliques. Now this is the most exciting part. Let me show you the magnets that you can create. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with magnets. So let me show you this first one. It's a little butterfly. And whoa! Whoops. In a later video, I'm going to show you how I painted that butterfly because you might have noticed before it fell that the paint was kind of cool. Let me show you some other ones. Let me pick up the one I dropped. They're trying to stick to each other. Okay, so here's the next one. And as you can see, this one I painted like rainbow, red, orange, yellow. And I think it turned out like really, really pretty. I actually used nail polish. And I just glued the magnets on the back with hot glue. You might notice these have a bit of a theme. I am into gold. If you have watched my videos, you would know I am very much into gold. I love gold. And the last one, which is also one of my favorites. Let's see. I don't want to drop it. See, and I have it. It's like two-tone. It's like darker blue, lighter blue. And then what I did, okay, I'm going to tell you my secret, but I'll show you my secret in another video. I actually dry brushed gold over the blue to create this. Let's take the rest of this kit apart and see what's inside. Okay, so as we see, the first layer has all of our little cutting pieces. It also came with pieces to make jewelry with. Me personally, sorry, I don't want to move the camera, but me personally, I'm probably not going to use the cheap little jewelry things that came with it because it was like a kid's kit. Can you tell this is a wig? And if you want to get this for your kids, it is like perfect, but I got it for me and I'm hiding it from my kids. Okay, back to the show. Okay, underneath this we have, undo it, both sides undo. They're really easy. Ugh, there we go. And then underneath we have more clay. Look at that. So many colors. And this does come in 2 different color tones. So I'll show you the 2 different color tones like somewhere around on the screen over here. It's very secure. We have the very last one. And I've kind of separated these out into warm colors and cool colors. So before you saw the red, orange, yellows, and now it's the greens, blues, and there was purple in the other one. So there's 3 tiers total. Today I'm going to show you how I make 3 different things. It's going to be a piece of trim. I'm going to show you how I make a butterfly, which has some intricate little pieces you cut around because of the antennas and whatnot. And then I'll also show you how to make a flower. And all of these items are actually required on my dressing table project that I'm doing. So this is kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And in the dressing table project, if you don't finish this video but you watch that one, I will do some reviewing of how to do the Fimo clay as well. So you might see a little bit of a repeat if you watch both. But definitely watch both because I'm going to be sharing some things about doing this dress, such as something called glazing, that you will absolutely love. It's not going to look anything like this when I'm done with it. This is just the first coat of paint. So let's get started with the Fimo clay. First, I have my kit right here. And honestly, like I'm just going to pick like a boring shade of tannish brown because it doesn't really matter what color I use. I'm going to be painting over this. So I'll take it out of the package. Okay, first thing we're going to make is going to be the piece of molding. It's going to be a long piece of molding. And once again, I will show you what the piece of molding looks like when it's done. Okay, this is not painted, but this is one of the pieces of molding. So if you can look real close there, you can see it has beautiful detail. And it almost looks like a piece of wood. And honestly, the cost of the clay, compared to the cost of wood, it is much more efficient to use the clay to make these than it is to go ahead and go out and buy the wood trim and buy the wood appliques. If you want to get just some plain white clay, which is what I started with, I'll show you up here what that looks like, and it's fairly inexpensive. So I suggest if you're not going to be using the colors, just get the white clay. And this is a review for polymer clay. I prefer to use Sculpey because it is less expensive, and I really don't see the difference between Sculpey and Fimo besides the price. So if you know of a difference between Sculpey and Fimo, please leave it in the comments because I like Sculpey better. It's way cheaper. I accidentally ordered Fimo and got a tiny little thing when then I could have ordered Sculpey and got the big thing. So, and that big thing of Sculpey has, now once you see my dressing table, you'll know how much appliques I made, but the big thing of Sculpey has covered pretty much all the appliques except for the last couple that we're doing today. Okay, so I'm going to break off a piece of clay about the size I think I might need, or maybe a little smaller depending on what I'm doing. Now for a piece of molding, I will be breaking off several pieces of clay, and I'm just going to take and start kneading it. And for the molding, I'm going to then roll it and start pushing it into the mold that you wish to use. I'm going to use this bigger one right here. You just want to push it in and let it just kind of get warm in your fingers. The warmer it is, the better it's going to go in. If it is too warm, it will stick to your fingers. I'm going to grab a little bit more, knead it a little bit. Once it's kneaded pretty good, I'm going to roll it and continue to push it into the form. Now the heat of my hands is going to make sure that all of this blends together and you don't see the seams on the other side, because as you can see we do have 2 pieces of clay here, but we want to push it in real good. My tip is push it in with your thumb real good. Now one thing that you can do, so listen up because this is a really good tip. What you do is you take your thumb, and this is to make sure that your clay does not overfill your mold, because you want to glue the clay onto a flat surface, so you want the clay to have a backing that can be glued onto a flat surface. And I make my backing concave so it dips in a little bit. That way when I'm putting my glue on it, there's a place for the glue. So I take my thumb, or I take my first finger, and I take the clay. You do this once it's warm, and I just start spreading it down. So I spread it down. As you can see, no seam anymore. It's like it's one piece, because now it is. And you just keep shaping it and spreading it down. This will ensure that the clay is all uniform on the inside and all of the details get picked up by the clay. I'm going to grab some more. As you can see, these molds do take a bit of clay. That's why I said that the white clay is really good. You can add it wherever you want. Just keep adding more and more and pushing it in and pushing it towards one end. Pushing. When the clay is really warm, sometimes it'll just kind of push like practically like peanut butter or something and just push into it. Okay, we'll take a little bit more. Warm it up. I usually warm mine up by rolling it in a ball or by rolling it into like a worm looking thing. So as you can see here, I have overfilled this, and let me show you what to do when you've overfilled it. So like I said, we're going to take our thumb, we're going to run it down, and then watch this. Let me do it the opposite way so you guys can see it. So I'm going to push this overfill out of the mold. Okay, so then it comes out of the mold, and now I can take and just push everything back into the mold and have an even piece. Now if I feel like I have more that's come up too far and I want to get rid of it, I'm going to take my thumb and I'm just going to run it down that and continue to get rid of little bits of it. You can use the piece of clay to go around and get your little tiny extras that are on the side. Okay, so just work it and push it in there until it feels good. Okay, we will set this aside for now, and I will show you what to do with the clay once you have it in the mold. Next thing we're going to do is make a butterfly. And butterflies can be very, very difficult because there's all kinds of little intricate parts of the butterfly. So see, we have legs and we have antennas, and we want to capture all these things in our piece of clay. Okay, and you're probably wondering, how do you get it back out of the mold? I'm going to show you that too. Okay, so let's get our piece of clay. We'll just kind of warm it up here. Okay, I like to take and peel off little pieces and put it in the mold where there's little chunks that need to go, such as the antennas and the legs. So I'm just going to take these pieces, kind of take and roll them between my fingers and place them in those spots. Okay, take some more and just really get this. Oops. If it comes back up, your hands are too warm. So one thing that you can do is go outside and cool your hands off. If it's winter, run your hands under cold water and then dry them. But if it's sticking to your hands, it's because they're too warm. Now we're going to do just like we did with the other one, and we're just going to place the pieces inside of the mold and work them in together. So I'm going to roll this. The warmer your clay is, the softer it is, but then if your hands are super warm too, it sticks. So you have to just kind of keep a balance. Okay, and I'm just going to push this in here. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to rub this part right on off. So rub, and then I get this piece on my thumb that I will just use to pick up the rest. Now, push it in. If your little arms and, well, your little legs and antennas are sticking up more than your mold, that is okay. Overfilling those is okay because once you put it on a flat surface, they will flatten out. But you don't want to overfill the rest of it. So be very careful. And you don't want it to be lumped up. Just, it doesn't have to be perfectly flat with the mold, like this does. So then we just take, rub the thumb over it. If it comes up a little bit like that, just push it back in. Get your pieces off. You can also use this to get it off your hands if it sticks to your hands. It's still got extra. You really don't want to have extra in there. It's hard to glue onto something when you have it lumped up because you have extra clay that's higher than the mold. You want it all to be level with the mold, with the exception of the antennas. Okay, so now we have our butterfly into our mold, and the last thing we're going to do is a flower. So just roll it in a ball. I do have a little bit extra right here of my other clay, so the flower we're doing is right here, and it also has some little intricate pieces right here. So it's got some leaves that kind of come down right here, and then it also has a stem. Let me show you up close. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is take and fill in the little sections. So I'm going to fill in this little section here, and it does not matter if I'm mixing clay colors because we're painting it anyway. So I've showed you if you get too much how to slide it off the edge, and then also showed you that you should just get the right amount so you don't have to slide it off. Next, I have a super cool tip to share with you on how I get my molds to come out perfect, how they don't, nothing breaks off, and how I get them nice and clean before I bake them. So come along with me and we're gonna go to the kitchen for this one. I'm gonna go ahead and put our molds in the freezer. It doesn't matter if we stack them. Next, set your timer for 10 minutes. Okay, and we will be taking these out. So I do suggest that you put your creations on a piece of foil. I use the shiny side. And let me show you how I break out the longer molds. These I just take and I fold the mold in half. Whoa. And it falls out. Okay, next mold is one of the flowers, and for this one we need to be a little more careful. So we're going to carefully bend the mold all around the edges before we take it out, and kind of use our hands on this other side here to push it through. Once you take the Fimo out of the freezer, it's going to be much harder and easier to work with and get out of your molds. Peeled it out, but now look closely, we do have some edges that need to be taken care of. There's a little bit of clay around the edges that needs some help. So that's when we grab our handy dandy little scissors. So I'm just going to carefully cut around where there's extra clay. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Cut around the stem right here. Just let that extra clay go onto the foil. And these scissors do have a bit of a curve to them, which is very nice. Once you get done cutting as many of the little pieces off as you can, you're then going to just go around the edge and push everything in. You may need to use your fingernail or the side of your finger to get the indentations properly in. So just push it in. Okay, there we go. I got cat hair in it, that's terrible. Okay, I'm gonna set this down on my piece of foil. And the very last one, the butterfly, this is very, very difficult. So wish me luck. And see how it being nice and hard or much stiffer helps? It just comes right out. So now we're going to take and cut around legs and antennas. Hey, if you're getting some value out of this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. It really helps my channel, and it'll also help YouTube know that you like to see videos like this, so it'll send more from myself and other creators. If you want just videos from myself, like I said before, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm going to go around the edges and just make sure everything's nice and tight in there, and then place it on my foil. Next step is to take our clay pieces to the oven. We will bake them at 275 for 30 minutes. So I'll be right back once they're done. Once you get your Fimo clay out of the oven, you will want to let it sit for about a half hour or until it's all the way cool. And then once it is cool, I will show you what it looks like. And lucky for us, I actually have some that's already done. So I will show you the durability and how they look. So first off, we have the piece of trim. And they do have just a teeny bit of flex in them, which is kind of nice when you apply them to furniture. It is concave on the inside, so it will be very easy to glue on. Here's a butterfly that is already done, and as you can see, the antennas are right here. They're not super fragile, and once we put them onto something, then it won't matter anyway. And because the Fimo clay and the wood are both slightly porous, hot glue works great to keep them attached. Then I use chalk paint over the whole entire thing, which seals the pieces of Fimo clay that are already baked onto my project. So then it's one with the project, it looks kind of like it's carved, and it stays. Okay, you will need a hot glue gun. I like to use a high temp hot glue gun with the larger pieces of hot glue. Okay, first I'm going to take and glue this little flower on. There's a bit of a concave here, so perfect. And I have a line that only I can see on this piece of furniture. You might be able to see it, that I'm lining things up with. It's actually a flaw that needs to be covered. So tip of the day, use Fimo clay pieces to cover up any flaws in your furniture. And I want this to look, you know, kind of hand carved, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't want it to be perfect. I would like to thank you so much for watching. Once again, my name is Ms. Angela Sawyer. If you're not subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe because I do all kinds of creative and amazing videos, such as furniture refurbishing, arts and crafts, some wigs, and some beauty every once in a while. So go ahead and hit that thumbs up if you made it this far, and I will see you in the next video. I'm going to go ahead and link a video for you to watch next. It's all about how to glaze furniture. I will be doing an updated video pretty soon, but this should give you some of the basics for doing this project with me. So go ahead and watch that video next. I will see you there, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, fantastic day. Peace out.